So hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Whether you are new here or whether you've come back because you've stuck with me, more for you. These videos are basically showcasing celebrity behaviour and body language. For those of you who are new and don't really understand what it is that I do, I am a UK therapist and I'm using the 20 plus years experience that I've had in this field to help you understand behaviour, body language, not just what's being said, but also what's not being said, reading between the lines. And I'm using celebrity behaviour, mainly Harry and Meghan, to showcase especially narcissistic personality disorder, because it's my belief that this is what Meghan has. So if these are the type of videos for you, where we delve into the truth and not clickbait and not fake news, then go grab your cuppa, come sit back, relax and listen as we delve into tea with a touch of therapeutic knowledge. So firstly, before I get going, I want to say I hear you. When I've seen in the comments, a lot of people have been struggling with the audio of my videos. I just want to clarify, I have not changed my recording device. I have had the same one pretty much for the last 3 years. And I think that this seems to be an issue since the latest update on my phone, because prior to that, I don't recall anyone sort of saying in the comments that they were having issues with my audio. I'm hoping that this will rectify itself, because I genuinely don't know how to rectify that. All I can say is please bear with. I apologise if this is ruining your experience. Maybe try on a different device, because I know that some people have had more luck watching on a different device rather than the one that they're struggling with. And yeah, so I really am sorry. I don't really know what else to tell you. Obviously, when my views are a lot better and I'm in a better financial situation, then maybe I can look into getting something a lot better in my recording equipment. But for now, you're stuck with, well, what I've got. So I'm really sorry if this has ruined your experience. Just keep trying, because I'm hoping that it will rectify itself. So anyway, yes, the topic at hand. So the Disney outing. Now, firstly, I want to say this, as a content creator, it's really difficult when there are so many different opinions out there. And so many people doing YouTube videos that say one thing and then another, because obviously I understand that all of you guys, or most of you, follow different content creators. So as a content creator myself, it's really difficult. I mean, it's great at times, because sometimes a content creator will pick up on something that I didn't see, or even you guys for that matter, because I get sent a lot of things that even I missed, and I'm just like, wow, that's fantastic, great. And I've got something recently, actually, which is going to go up on the next video, and oh my goodness, it is, I mean, stay till the end. I'm going to clarify that a little bit for you, but it's huge. And I don't just say that for clickbait reasons. It's huge. But anyway, so it is difficult, because you get sort of some that say, they've had they've had someone contact them, but they don't show evidence of that. Because to me, the important thing is showing evidence. And if it's not evidence, like for example, there is no evidence that the children are not real, but there kind of is. But what I do is I show you or tell you my thought process. I run you through things so to explain how I got there. I don't just go, I don't believe the kids are real, and that's it. So it is difficult, because obviously with this Disney park, there are some that believe that they were there with the children. There were some that would believe that believe it's completely AI. There was some that were saying they were there for 2 days and they shut the park down, which they couldn't have done, because there's footage that's come out with them being with people, around people. When you're trying to navigate through all of that, it can be a bit of a minefield. And bearing in mind, I work full time as well, so it's like trying to keep up with everything, because I do see some of the comments where people are kind of like, oh, you know, you're so late to the party on this, other content creators have spoken about it. But I would like to think that I give a different perspective, because as much as other content creators talk about what they do and that's their niche, mine is this psychological aspect of it, given my training and given my background. And as someone who's worked really hard for that qualification, you know, I'd like to think that with the 20 plus years that I've been in this industry, that I got quite a good insight into behavior. So as far as I'm aware, you know, that is different to say what other people do. But I am like a dog with a bone, and I do have this side of me which is very, if I find something, it's like therapy head comes off and M's head comes on, and it's, well, not that I ever take my head off, that's weird, where's all gummage. And anyone in the UK, you know, if you know, you know. And I just have this kind of, I don't know, like my intuition, and I just kind of like want to delve into a little, which is what is going to be coming in this next video. So the Disney park, you know, I'm looking at all the footage that's come out. Now, first and foremost, obviously, the first thing was obviously the photograph that she put out with the love heart emojis over the children's faces. Now, someone, because I was sent this, so I can't take credit for it because I'm not on Twitter. So somebody, which is frustrating for me sometimes because it seems a lot of things happen on Twitter, but I refuse to go back on there. And someone sent me this where someone has done, I don't know, I guess they've removed the love heart emojis from the face. And it looks to me as if especially the girl's face has been very manipulated. Now, I'm going to put this up because at the end of the day, it's been put out already. And I, in all fairness, don't know kind of if I believe that this girl, in a sense, in this moment is particularly real, because it does look like she's floating. I did run the photograph through ChatGPT, which does AI analysis, and it did come up with that something is off in regards to the positioning of the girl. Now, don't get me wrong, I've done this with other photographs. Now, a lot of the photographs that Harry and Meghan, or, well, I'm going to say Harry and Meghan, it's actually Meghan that puts out, are AI generated. ChatGPT has come back, and I've run it through another one, which is, I'll find the name of it and I'll put it up here. And it's conclusive in its findings that these videos and photographs have been manipulated. A lot of the metadata gets wiped, especially if it's AI generated. And so it's very apparent that, now it says that obviously Harry, Meghan look real. This is why I do believe it to be real. Now the boy's face is blurry, which again isn't odd if you're going to look at it from the context of they're trying to, now they haven't blurred the face out completely, but I think what she's tried to do by the looks of it is that she's tried to edit Lily in, and she's had it done quickly and it's not gone to her liking, so she's then shoved the love heart emoji over the top to cover it up and to make it look authentic. Like this is just a normal photograph and we're, you know, putting these emojis over the top. But you've got to ask yourself, because remember, everything I say is about intent, it's about behavior. Why would she do that? Because if you look at the fact that every single photograph that we have had of those children, aside from the weird July the 4th blurry, which I believe was fake anyway, photographs look like they have been photoshopped. But not only that, they don't show the faces. They show the back, side view, just her eyes in this recent one. They haven't shown the face of these two children for a long time. So why would you start hiding? Because you've got to bear in mind there were photographs before Megxit, so stay with me here because I know this can get a bit convoluted. So before Megxit, we were seeing this baby a lot. And it was very obvious. You could definitely tell that this wasn't AI. It was very obvious. But you also had footage where Harry was holding the baby quite a lot and he seemed quite protective, and to the point where one shot he didn't even let Meghan goes to hold him and he sort of pulls away. That's very telling in itself, because it's usually the other way around. It's usually the mother that really sort of takes control a lot of the time of the child, because it's just that maternal instinct. So then since Megxit, and then sort of, then we had these sort of, like say, Duck Duck Rabbit, is it in Canada or wherever that was supposed to be? Since then, nothing. So ask yourself this, why? Because it's always about asking the questions, right? So why were they okay to show this child prior to Megxit, but since Megxit have been weird about it? Because if you're okay to show the child, why is it that even on the plane, if you look, there was the Freedom Flight plane. If I can find the video footage or picture, I'll put it up here. But it's like, they're alluding to the fact that they've got Archie on the plane, but they don't show him. She sort of looks down as if she's cradling a baby, but you don't really see him. Why? We've already seen him, allegedly. We've already seen him, so what's the problem in showing him on this flight? The reason being, in my opinion, is because they never took him on this Freedom Flight. He never went to America, he stayed here. Because ever since then, we've had these weird photographs, weird video footage. Nothing has been, and you can't say, well, you obviously can say, but it's ridiculous to see, or to say even, get my words out, that this is about them wanting to keep the children private. Because if that was the case, why is she doing this now? So I go back to the fact that this boy is Harry's and not hers, and so she cannot merch him. She cannot show him. I do, however, believe that there is every possibility that the boy visits, because at the end of the day, if he's Harry's son, Archie Harrison, don't tell me that's not a coinkydink. So if he, obviously this boy is Harry's son, then there is every chance that this boy goes to America to visit his father. And there's every chance possibly that maybe the mother goes with them, or somebody as an advocate goes with them to make sure, because I do believe that she was, and I've had information sent to me, this was a few years ago, where somebody told me that I was very, very, very close to the truth. So, and one of my theories is that Meghan was told she cannot, something happened on the Africa tour which pushed Megxit, and she was told that she was not allowed to be around the boy. And this is why Megxit had to happen. So she was removed, and I think Harry was then given the option in the Sandringham summit to either divorce her and carry on being here, or to go over there. She did the pat walk, I'll say this a million times, she did the pat walk in Canada with the doll. She forced his hand because she was threatening the truth, and he went over there, and those two have been angry ever since. And it makes sense, because if you got what you wanted, if you were out of the royal family and you wanted this, why have you been playing narc revenge ever since? Why are you playing mind games with the royal family? Because you've got what you wanted, right? You've got your money, you don't have to work for it, it's off you go, and go live your life. But they've not done that. They've been angry ever since. And that tells you that they didn't want to really go. Now, don't get me wrong, I think she wanted her cake and eat it. I think she thought that being in the royal family was going to elevate her to stardom status, to red carpet, to Hollywood rolling out and giving her the best movie deals of her life. And of course, none of that's happened, but because of Megxit. So I think that they're angry. So, stay with me. So then you have the fact that they've played these games ever since. So the Disney park footage. Now, I have said, if you're new here, if you're not, then I apologize for repeating myself, that I do now believe that they've adopted a little girl. Because, and I suspect, this was something to do, because it was very left field when they started doing the Nigeria tour, faux royal tour, the Colombia faux royal tour. I've already said in a video that they're the Colombia offices, is it consulate, correct me if I'm wrong, no, well don't, because I'm inundated with comments, but you know what I kind of mean, is in the same offices, or the front that is being alluded to as being Archie Well in LA. I don't feel that's a coincidence. So I think there's something behind the scenes that's kind of gone on here, and I do wonder if there's been some, whether it's Colombia or somewhere else, I do absolutely believe they've adopted a girl. Now, there is around 6-month period where I think when an adoption takes place, it cannot be a surrogacy, and I'm going to get into that in a minute, because so there's 6 months, I think, grace where they cannot show pictures and footage of the girl, or the child, should I say, of like the face, for around 6 months? I mean, I don't know. I'm not particularly au fait with the laws in California and LA, so maybe it's slightly different, maybe it's slightly longer. So, but we'll say 6 months, right? So that then makes sense when she came on Instagram using her as ever, American Riviera, or whatever you want to call it, as a ruse, if you like. And I think that was because she was setting it up to start showcasing the girl and merching the girl. Because I've said before, if she'd have given birth to these 2 children, one, she would have merched the boy from the word go. She would have merched the pregnancy. She would have merched absolutely everything there is to merch about being pregnant. In her mind, she would have been the only woman that's ever been pregnant, only woman that's ever given birth, only woman that's ever had a boy. You name it, this would have been her. What she's doing now, she would have been doing back then. A narcissist doesn't just wake up years later and go, oh, do you know what, I'm going to merge the children now. She would have been doing this from the word go. Then, when Lily come along, there's every chance then she could have swapped, and then because Lily was, she's looking at Lily as the extension of her and the connection to, say, Diana, then she would have then switched, and the boy would have been devalued, and she would have started merching the girl from the word go. But she hasn't. There's nothing about the pregnancy, nothing about her losing the baby weight, nothing about the children's clothes, what the baby's eating, etc. Nothing. And again, a narcissist doesn't wake up years later and suddenly go, I'm going to start merching my child now. And that's because, in my opinion, there was an adoption or a surrogate that was going to happen. The child's name was Diana Mary. And it's not a coinkydink that Mary is also one of the names of the late Queen Elizabeth, which is the name I think they went and asked the Queen for. The Queen said yes, but they're now twisting that as in, like, it's Lily, the other version. So, and I think that was Meghan. So something happened, and again, I was informed, and now this isn't obviously categorical proof, but I was told that, again, there were issues where Meghan was concerned, and in the end, there was issues with money, and the birth mother changed her mind. Now, there is a Diana Mary that was born, but she has different parents. So when you look at, because people have said to me, yes, but Lady C and other people have said the children are real. Well, technically they are. If you look at the fact that Archie is Harry's real child, and I know that some still believe there are no children, but I cannot get my head around that, because, again, why would a narcissist wake up one day and go, you know what, I'm going to have a child. No, I'm not. I'm going to pretend. And not only that, I'm going to go to the late Queen and I'm going to pretend to be pregnant for 9 months, hoping that nobody notices, or any of the other royals. Come on, if we've noticed and we're on a million miles away and we saw it on the mainstream media, you can't tell me that the royal family didn't notice. So she's decided to fake being pregnant. Okay, get that. But why would you then, you wouldn't go to the late Queen and be that, you know, the other version is that they went and was like, do you know what, we're going to lie about being pregnant. What we want you to do is we want you to put those children in the line of succession. We want them to be named Prince and Princess, even though they don't exist. We want you to lie to the world, to put your whole reputation on the line, get the whole family and the media all involved. For what? For what reason? It makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense. It's far too messy. I mean, this is messy enough, but that's really messy. And then you've got to just walk around with fake children. Okay, I get that that's what they're doing, but at least if one of them exists and one of them has been an adoption, you can sort of get away with it. But to have it where no children exist ever, but they're in the line of succession, I'm sorry, as much as I do stand behind them protecting the birth mother and the real child, say, And possibly because Meghan, when she found out, absolutely lost the plot and was like, I'm going to be humiliated. We've crafted this love story. You've humiliated me. I'm going to, you know, it's because you don't want a black child in the family. It's racism. It's this, it's that. I'm going to expose everything unless you allow me to pretend to be pregnant and I'll go along with it to protect you, Harry, albeit that it's that. And then when the child is born, we'll either adopt the child or we'll just say the child is ours. That makes more sense to me than lying about there being no children and going to the late Queen and going, you know what, yeah, let's just pretend and we want you to go along with it. And I don't think it's to do with Andrew, albeit yes, there is a connection there, because that would make her look just as bad. And I'm sorry, the late Queen pretty much stripped Andrew of everything anyway. So no, just don't buy it. But that's my theory anyway, and people are free to believe what they choose. So this Lily that we've got now, I do believe is an adoption. Now, when you look at the video, so obviously some people have said that they closed the park off. They didn't, because there are other people in the footage you can see. So then you have the fact that obviously then we've got the twerking video. So I think that this was a distraction from the twerking video. She got a huge amount of backlash for that twerking video. Okay, yes, most of the, like her fan base who seem to be predominantly women of colour, support her, and of course they do. But for the most part, people thought it was crass. And I am in agreement with that. Because at the end of the day, you can do what you want, but keep it private. The fact that they put this out shows the intention, because she's looking at the camera. This isn't just a sweet moment that's just been caught on camera. This is, you know, this is intentional. This is for media purposes. So that shows you that straight away from that moment she's thinking of merching. But if this was a real pregnancy, why didn't we get the footage when they first did it? So if they are alluding to this they did this back in 2021 when she was allegedly pregnant with the girl, then why wait 4 years to put this footage out? Because that craze happened around 2018. So, okay, you can argue that 2021, there were some people still doing it. But why would you wait 4 years to put that out? Especially when the height of the surrogacy rumours were rife then. The moon bump, the fake pregnancy, etc. Why wait till it's not died down, but it's certainly not as out there as what it was, and to expose it all again? Again, it's intentional, because I truly do believe that she put that out to troll Harry, because I think there's a part of her that is threatening the truth. Because if it comes out, yes, okay, it could potentially make her look bad, but all she's got to do is say, they made me do it. Now, the rest of us, of course, we're not going to believe that. And there's a big chunk of the world that won't believe it. But the fact that the drama, the controversy, everything that will expose will be huge. If she comes out and says, they made me do it because they didn't want a black child in the family, that will be huge. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. As much as like the rest of us don't buy it, the mainstream media, it will be everywhere. Not only that, it will create the monarchy to come back into that kind of drama again. And I think the royal family just don't want it. They don't want, especially with the king being very poorly, they just don't want the drama. So I think they're just letting her get on with it for the minute. So then you have all of that, and I think that, like I say, if this was a real pregnancy, she would have posted that. The perfect time would have been to, albeit that she still would have probably got backlash for it, but it would have gone some way, say, for example, but she didn't. So I don't think that was done in 2021. I genuinely don't. I think this was done later. Now, I don't think it was very recent, because Harry looks or the person we're alluding to be Harry, because some people have said it's not Harry. Okay, so weirdly, in some areas of the footage, it looks like Harry, and then in other areas it's blurred out, which is weird to me. She's also wearing shoes, which she's tried to cover up with the table. can't take credit for that. I really forget the YouTuber. I do apologise. But he spotted it very cleverly. I didn't. But she is wearing shoes, and they've tried to hide it with the table. So so that's another thing, the fact that people have spotted that. So obviously this is supposed to be, and again, credit to the Royal Grift, because again, she's really good in her due diligence in researching things. And so she's obviously found out that this is the Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital, but it's the surrogacy suite. So two things. One, because the other thing as well, I'm sorry, I feel like I am digressing a little bit here. I will get to the Disney park thing, because this is kind of leading up to it. So the two things here is that either this was recorded as her almost like making fun of being pregnant, and so she was using this song. So say back in 2021, for example, they were just making fun of being pregnant because she wasn't, and it was almost like making fun to the media of the fact that she's basically lying, because if you're looking at the fact that people have said it's monitors, that the leads, they're not attached. Okay, it could be wireless, but at the end of the day, when you're supposedly having preeclampsia, now I've had preeclampsia and I was on bed rest for 2 weeks. It was very scary. I would not be doing that, and I defy any person that has had that would be doing the same. I've had people that are midwives, nurses in the comments that have all said this isn't real. So I go by professional opinion. So like I said, if she'd have done this, then it's either that she is waiting, say, for example, the child to be born. Now, I have said again that I don't believe that the Diana Mary went to her. So in my opinion, it's very possible that the birth mother changed her mind right at the last minute, because it was very weird how right up until there was these domain names that were brought up with Diana Mary. Then around May, all of a sudden it switched to the name that they chose of the Lily Diana. So I wonder if this was recorded. It was recorded around May 2021, and the birth mother, she changed, or this was something around that time. The birth mother changed her mind, and so then they had to scramble because they're now left without a child. So we've now had that weird sort of fake kind of children, actors, etc. since then. Because as I've said, if she'd have recorded this and this was about having a real child, she would have posted this at the time when all the craze was going about. She didn't wait. You wouldn't wait 4 years later, especially given that it makes her look not pregnant. So I think, again, this was to troll Harry and to say, I want you kept in line. Because again, she's putting posts out of her and Lily 8 hours later, which is pretty much after the birthday's gone. She then puts out pictures of Harry and a girl, allegedly, because again, could be weird Photoshop. So to me, and also when we see the one with Harry holding a baby, we're just assuming that's Lily. For all we know, he could be holding the boy there. Because as I've said, if she had had the girl from a baby, we would have seen everything. She would have been out in the pram. How is it that we've never seen her out pushing the child in a stroller, in a pram, anywhere? But all of a sudden, when the child is like 5 years old, we now see her. She has adopted, or they have adopted, a little girl, but she sees that little girl as hers. The boy is Harry's. The girl is hers. She doesn't want to share with Harry. She was annoyed that she had to probably put those photographs out of Harry. So the Disney, you're probably all going, well, we can get to the point, Em. Here's where I find it odd in regards to the Disneyland one, because why is there no footage of them anywhere? Not one person has recorded them on their phone. Now, don't get me wrong, there are means to scrap things from the internet. We know that. So it's very possible that they have a team, and I will be getting to that in the next video, that has scrubbed things from the internet when it's gone out, because there are flags. You can put things in place. The Kardashians do it a lot in certain things, and they can control the media. So if there has been footage that's put out, people have taken screen grabs, people have taken videos of them wandering around, then the fact that they've been taken and wiped from the internet tells us that there's possibly something about the two children that they don't want showcased. If you are putting out footage where you're not showing their faces, then you suddenly start 6 months later showing the face of the girl, then why would you suddenly then go to then putting emojis on again? Why not just do what they've always done and just showing the back of them? But suddenly they're showing full frontal, and that's because I think she's trying to manipulate the face of the children, and it went wrong in that particular photograph, and so she scrambled and was like, we'll just stick an emoji over the top. So the photo that's been done and the emoji's been taken off, you can see, especially with the girl, and like I say, the AI analysis come back that the girl's face has been manipulated. If you have a real child, like I've said before, and you've had that child since birth, why do you feel the need to manipulate every single photograph? Why do you feel the need to create such an air of mystery? Because what you're going to do is that you are actually creating a more dangerous situation if you did what, say, the Prince and Princess of Wales do in regards to their children. All you need to do is just show a couple of family photographs, even if she wants to adopt the same way that the royals do it, even though, like I say, that they've left, and just do one on their birthdays, one at Christmas. Why not do that? But she hasn't. And I've said before that she absolutely hates Princess Charlotte because she is a real princess. She absolutely hates and despises the Princess Catherine. So she will be doing anything that she possibly could to overshadow. She hasn't done that till recently. Why? Because she hasn't had the girl. And I will die on that hill that she has not had the girl to merge. So now, with this adoption that's taken place, in my opinion, because I've got to be careful, that they are now using the girl to merge, or she is. And so this Disney park outing is either incredibly sophisticated AI, where they have gone with the boy, because in the photographs that I've put through, the boy and the photographs of the boy seem legit, apart from the one on the log flume where Harry's hand looks weird. And again, I run this through the ChatGPT software and the other analysis software, and again it comes back with there is something very weird about Harry. Now you've also got to look at the fact that Harry is sitting with the boy now, and then Meghan's sort of looking round, but she's not looking at the two of them, she's looking at the camera. So they've purposely taken somebody with them to take this footage. So that's what you've got to, this is not a normal family outing where you would have your camera where you're taking footage and then maybe you're putting that up on your Instagram. They have taken a photographer, a videographer with them, or somebody to take this footage. That's not normal. That's not normal behavior. But what's very weird is when you see the footage, it's like other people are not even looking round. They're not even sort of remotely interested in who they are. Which, if they're walking around with a camera team, just seems a bit weird, unless people are just that disinterested in Harry and Meghan, which is very possibly true. But even so, I don't particularly like them, but if I saw them in a park, I would double take and sort of maybe watch what they were doing. But there just doesn't seem to be any real interaction with, so either they have taken someone's footage, and it is very possible to do this, believe you me, and they have orchestrated that as their own, and they've planted the girl, so to speak, because the photograph of where the face has been manipulated, she looks like she's floating. She doesn't look like she's standing weird, and she's barefoot. What's that about? How is it the other three are not barefoot, they're in shoes, but she's in barefoot. This photograph or something of her was taken somewhere else, say, I don't know, in a park or a beach or a garden where you're barefoot, and she's been put in, because if you also look, there's no real, like, Harry's standing there holding the boy, but there's no interaction really with her and the girl. I mean, again, that's narcissism, but it's like the girl has just been plonked there. So it's very possible that, yes, they did go to the Disney park ride. Now, again, we are assuming, because we see a girl in a video walking up to Elle, but we're assuming that that's Lily. But there's nothing to say that it is. But you've also got to look at the birthday cake. The birthday cake with, again, Ariel. What is it she said in the Oprah interview? That she sees herself as the Little Mermaid. And yet, interesting, the cake is Ariel. Again, making it about her. But the child's name is Lily. I still stand by the fact that I think something has been said behind the scenes because they never call her Lilibet. The media do, but they don't. And again, being a narcissist, she would, if that's the name that they've called the child and the child is legitimate, you would call the child that name. They don't. They say Lily. They even wrote Lily on the cake. Everything that they do, anything that she's done with the names of the children, it's Lily. So again, if the child was real, you would be like, no, this is the child's name. I don't care whether you like it or not, but this is the child's name. So the fact of the matter is, I think behind the scenes, the royal family have found out that she's lying, and they've said, we know you're lying. You are not to call this child Lilibet. Again, this is what you've put out there in the media, but you are not to publicly call her that. And they can't say anything to the press, because I think the press would then start questioning, well, what's going on? So they've kept up this ruse in a sense publicly, but behind the scenes, I think they've said, we're not having that, you're not doing it. Or Harry has put his foot down and said, no, because I don't think, as much as I dislike Harry, I actually don't think he was in on her putting out that the fake child's name was Lilibet. So it's very possible that he said, I'm drawing the line at that. Absolutely not. But yeah, so I think to some degree that footage potentially could be real, but I do think it's been manipulated. I do think that there is every chance that they've taken someone's footage and, in a sense, but like I say, because the other thing is weird as well is that she's wearing, and I know that this is how narcissists behave, but the fact that they see the girl as an extension of themselves. The little girl isn't wearing Disney ears. She is. The girl looks, I mean, and I don't like to say this because I think children are to be children no matter what, but the girl looks particularly unkept, almost as if, like, her hair's very messy. I just something doesn't add up with me with this. The fact that, like I say, in that photograph, she's barefoot, but the others are not. I mean, there's things on the ground, you just wouldn't. This is not that this is in their home. It's like, that's different, but you're out and about at Disney and your child's walking around in bare feet. That doesn't make sense to me. But like I say, the fact is that we've not seen her merch these children hardly ever until recently. There was a reason she come. There's always a reason with narcissists. This isn't just oh, bless her, she's just now just showcasing her child. No, it's because she couldn't. And so there's a reason why she's doing that now. If she had given birth to those children, she would have merched them. I will absolutely stake my life on this. And she hasn't. She's never merched the boy because she can't, because the boy isn't hers. There's probably been something that's put in that she cannot do this, which is why she devalues the boy. I mean, it'll say you've only got to look at the footage. He got some weird photograph that was copied from somewhere else, looking this lonely figure on a balcony where you couldn't even really see him. And then what does she do with Lily? She's putting two photographs. Why is there no pictures of her with Archie when he was born? Why wasn't that out there? Pictures of Harry when Archie was born. Nothing. But Lily gets that. It's because she views Lily as her property. Archie, she sees as Harry's, so he's devalued. Lily is put on a pedestal. But that Disney footage, something is very hinky about it. I can't, because the whole AI thing is scary to me. The fact that someone can lie and manipulate in the way that they can. And I've seen many, many, many comments where people are saying, how are they getting away with this? Well, I'm going to tell you how I think they're getting away with this in this next video. I had somebody send something to me, which was just, have you looked into this? And of course, me being me, I go down the rabbit hole, and I spent all weekend, which is my weekend off, instead of relaxing, I spent all weekend delving into this, and oh my goodness, how? I mean, it's been in the media, so this is not something that's that I've just, in a sense, that I'm making up. It's out there. It's in the public domain, but it was never circulated. A couple of journalists wrote stories on it, but it never went anywhere. And so many people have said to me, I don't get it. How are they getting away with this? Well, I believe I know why, and I know who is backing them, and I have believed that I found the proof to show who's backing them, and I think you will be horrified. And I'm not just saying this. I honestly, you know me, I will bring the truth as I see it. If I believe I'm wrong, I will tell you I'm wrong. That's why I hope that when people follow me, they see a channel that is about integrity, truth, not just sort of clickbait, and just getting people to view just because it's for money. I'm not about that. Okay, yeah, I mean, don't be wrong, getting paid is nice, but yeah, so this is a big deal for me, and I think it explains a lot, and why this has not been circulated in the mainstream, on social media, anywhere. I get it because of who's controlling it. They're shutting it down. And what is even scarier is the fact that it could put in jeopardy people like myself if they have this much power. And so when I said on Instagram, don't think for a second that she is not going to try for the White House. And people in the comments were like, oh, she won't get anywhere. I don't know. Because there are so many corrupt people in governments, in situations, and if they think that someone like Meghan could, because I mean, I guess of course she'd have to give up her titles, but she wouldn't care about that if she was getting this. This woman is dangerous, and I think that the royal family are negligent and naive if they think that just ignoring her is going to make her go away. It won't. She's aligning behind the scenes. She's orchestrating and working and grifting. That is all she's ever done. And in all honesty, if she was a likable person, I would, in a way, admire the tenacity that she has. But the difference is that she doesn't grift in a good way. She doesn't grift and work hard. She aligns with unscrupulous people. She almost, I feel like, has this little black book of things, and it's a very dangerous game to play, but I think she's playing it. And I think that unfortunately Harry has got intertwined in her games, and I think in a sense he's kind of stuck with her until either she gives him the divorce that she wants, which will be the monetary side of things, I believe, or she finds somebody else, a billionaire, or somebody with, like, say, with connections, deep pockets, and she will leave him for that person. I don't think for a second that she's not schmoozing people, love bombing them, because that's what she does. And Harry is just there on the sidelines, because Harry is just somebody that he's very lazy. And so he doesn't have a work ethic. He wants everything set up for him, and then he just drops in and just does his bit and leaves again. I'm a royal, so I don't have to do anything, which is why he just aligns with certain companies. And in a sense, Meghan is very much the same, but she's always working behind the scenes in her mind of like, who can I grift next? Who can I attach to? Who can I align with? Who is in, you know, who can elevate me? You've got to think this woman has come from, just like I say, a Canadian series, Suits, where she wasn't even really well known, to now one of the most infamous women in the world, because she's grifted. She's dangerous. She's willing to do whatever it takes, and I even will include illegal, unlawful, whatever you want to call it, unethical, to get there. So the royal family, I think, are naive to think that this woman is going to go away. She's not. This is beyond narcissism. I think, like I say, there's sociopathy, psychopathy there. But this next video, I'm going to be showing you a lot of things, and I think you will be very surprised, unless you know about it, in which case then I'm really late to the table, but I've not seen anyone really mention this, so I don't know, but we'll see. But make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss the upload. It'll be coming on Friday. Just leaving you with a big one before my birthday. Yeah, do you know, I'm going to drop that in there. My birthday is on Sunday. And I'm really grateful to all of you who have been emailing me, and some things have been sent already, which I will be opening on my birthday. I don't open before. So thank you so much to all of you. You know, I really am just so blessed in a way to have such an amazing support network with all of you, and the fact that I am really hoping that by the end of this year that I get the 100,000. I'm at 93k subscribers. I've got 7 more to go. 6 months to do it in. Do you think I can do it? I really hope so. So if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing so, because I've worked so hard, gone through so much, as most of you know, with the trolling, the hitting my channel, having my channel affected in so many ways. And you know, so to get that 100,000 plaque would mean so much to me. I will be doing a giveaway when I get there. So yeah, so like I say, if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing so. And if you haven't liked the video, please also drop that like, drop a comment. I mean, unless you haven't liked it, in which case don't worry about it, it's fine. Don't forget, all of the links that you want to everything, my PO box, etc., is all in the description box below. You can contact me via email, PO box. You can treat me to a CUPPA, become a member, Amazon wishlist. You know, it's all there. Whatever it is that you want, or just watching the video is absolutely fine, and sharing. So that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, whatever you are doing, and I'll see you in the next one. And as always, I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye bye.